So here is a close-up of a half-eaten crispy chicken bite. You know what? What I'm really thinking is, I'm eating chicken. I like chicken. You know, the normal chickens I eat, I don't know where they came from. And so I don't know why I should be very stressed where this came from either.
You see how they rely on your ignorance? You got to be stupid and not care about your own health. You just can't care. That's the type of human being they want to create and keep going on. People who just don't care and just trust the government.
The meat market is worth more than $1 trillion annually, and there are over 60 startups in the cultured meat field.
Cultured meat has attracted several prominent investors, including Sergey Brin, Richard Branson, and Bill Gates. What is also
Red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. Y'all should be, as soon as y'all see that, those are the in-crowd billionaires. You see, this is why capitalism is bad. A capitalist is evil because of the owning of production. They get to own the means of production. A personal, private individual owns the means of production. That's why capitalism is evil. Not investors. An investor is not evil because you can invest in yourself. You can invest in efficiency. You can develop yourself. A developer is not evil. But a capitalist, he wants to own and control the means of production. This is why you don't have other car companies that keeps coming out besides, Ford and the big three in America or whatever, because they want to stop everybody else's ideas and they just want everybody to come through them. So that's capitalism. That's why it's evil, because it stymies and it stifles the natural development of human beings.
interesting is that even meat giants such as Cargill and Tyson have invested in space. It's this disruptive potential of the market, as well as the promise to greatly reduce the climate impact of meat production, that has attracted investors.
It remains to be seen who will get regulatory approval in which countries, and whether consumers will like lab-grown meat enough to make the switch. And while there's no evidence that lab-grown meat is any less healthy than traditional meat, there's an ongoing debate over how healthy eating meat is in general. But if these products are a success, they could be the beginning of a more humane, less destructive meat industry.
The food and ag industry is the most innovative industry in the world. It's always figured out how to feed a growing population, and we've never failed doing so. And it's been very clear to us that we are part of that, and we're going to figure out how to feed the next.
Anytime I hear there's no evidence that this will hurt you, anytime I hear there's no evidence that, this is not healthy or whatever, that means that the rich people haven't paid for the evidence. They're the one with the big bucks to pay for evidence, and even if you do it privately, nobody's going to believe it.
3 billion people joining us, and I just see an evolution.
We can do this a bit differently. We can do this in a way that is consistent with the kind of people that we want to be, the kind of planet that we all want to live in. We can build a food system that reflects really the best characteristics of who we are. And that makes me really hopeful.
What's up, everybody? This is Super Mike. Make sure you guys press the thumbs up and share the message. This is just a little quick message I want to put out. There's a lot of economic. Make sure y'all pay attention to the economy, because this nation, America, is being run by some of the dumbest people who just got stuff handed to them. When you go generation after generation with racism, you're being handed stuff that you didn't really earn. And so you have some of the people who think they're the smartest, but they're actually the dumbest. Some of the people who think they're the smartest actually running and holding the power in the reins of society. And so they're messing everything up. And so therefore that means that, your unemployment numbers going on, your economy is getting messed up, your ecology is out of balance. You got storms everywhere, just destroying, your nation, and they seem to be focused on the United States area. Tornadoes, earthquakes, all happening right now. And so, I'm not no economist or nothing like that, but, humankind has gone through some tumultuous, cataclysmic stuff before. So there will be people who survive if they're smart. Sometimes you're lucky and smart. So, it's a good idea. I got me some gold pieces. And if you're an investor, you might want to do something like that too, buy some of it. Because, and just read this story, just a little bit of it. Gold and silver rally strongly to a 12-month high. So after a whole year, they're higher than they always have been, for a year because of weak U.S. data. Gold and silver prices are sharply higher and hit a 12-month highs near midday Tuesday. Some weak U.S. economic data that pressured the U.S. dollar index and sent U.S. Treasury yields down, boosted gold and silver prices. So basically, the Treasury bonds yielded less than what they thought they were going to yield. So they put money in these bonds, and when they able to turn them in for cash, they're getting less. And so, anytime there's some little economic problems in the society, people who need to hold their money somewhere and save their money to protect against inflation, they'll buy some gold. So that's a good idea. You got per ounce, you got $2,000, $2,078 for gold, $24.93 for silver. And there's a good chance it'll go up. So if you get some of it now, that would help you. Like I said, it holds something. Just like I said, just pay attention to that, because and what they were looking at, they were saying that the job market, in some of the indicators that they look at the Labor Department reported job openings fell. So there's less companies wanting people to hire people. What is that going to do? So less people are getting jobs, homes, purchases, retail, all of that's going to decline. So that's not good for the Main Street market. Okay, Labor Department reported job openings fell in February to the lowest level in nearly 2 years. A sign employers' demand for workers has eased. Less money going into people's pockets. Meantime, U.S. factory orders in March were down 0.7%. So the factories are not ordering as much. Ooh, slow down. The economic data falls into the camp the U.S. monetary policy doves who want to see lower interest rates from the Federal Reserve. So they want the Federal Reserve to lower the cost of getting some money, which will boost the economy. Okay, but the Federal Reserve, they've been doing that for like a few years. So that's kind of like putting gas in the economy, on a fire. And so they want to kind of slow that down so they won't have a crash. But, they just, all they want is growth. They don't care. They don't care about the total collapse. That pressured the U.S. dollar index and dropped U.S. Treasury yields. Now, keep in mind, while they're having these financial problems, we're demanding reparations. Yep, and we should, because guess what? They prioritize what they want. They keep sending money over to Ukraine while they're having these financial problems, while they're having this domestic uproar. Okay, at the same time, Russia's, still doing what they're gonna do. You're pushing Russia, Iran, China, and India closer together, and these groups were actually they had problems before with each other, some of them. But because of the U.S., keep continuously funding this Ukraine crap, they're pushing them together. So, there's going to be some collapse of the dollar. You got African nations saying that they don't want dollars anymore. They don't want to use dollars anymore, which is very dangerous for them. Very brave, because as soon as they say that, they're risking their lives. But at the same time, the power of the U.S. to strike is lower, because the U.S. power is in decline. So as far as individually, as far as groups, you got to protect your stuff. And the only way you can really protect your rights and your assets is, try to, develop within your own group. You see? So, that's kind of the stuff. You got a lot of issues going on in the world. So the real news, I know they got everybody paying attention to this LSU game, and this girl putting her hand in front of her face. That's not like serious news. News is like they've made everybody so silly. Literally, to sell people stuff, every commercial has to be a joke now. Back in the day when you sold insurance, Geico or, Farmers Insurance, if you wanted to sell insurance, you told people what you had to offer, your rates, and people made intelligent decisions. Nowadays, it has to be a joke. You got to have some sort of little puppet, Geico, you got to have Aflac, you got to have a goat, you got to have a joke. Everything's got to be a joke, because people are stupid now. Why are people stupid? It's because they've not only lowered the education, but they've turned everybody into seekers of pleasure. Nobody's responsible hardly. Okay, so that's what they got to do to sell stuff. They're creating this fake meat. Bill Gates is out here. These people are trying to market. There's cancers in these little fake meats that they don't worry about. They're lab grown meat. Okay, so you got to think about it. What is cancer? Cancer is when the cells of a certain region are growing out of control and too fast for the body's defenses to regulate it. And these are unregulated growth in cells. So that's kind of what they're doing with this lab grown meat. But they're investing big time in it. They don't care. Just shovel it out to these people. And they always make stuff sound like it's good. They always talk about the good parts. They never focus on the both sides of a coin when they're trying to offer you or sell you something. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I said, just pay attention to the real news, the weather. There's disasters. You're supposed to be, the United States is supposed to be funding and helping the people clean up these disasters. But, that's breaking their economy. But they're still sending money over there to Ukraine. We see the money. We want our reparations. Yeah, they got to give it to us, or come up off some of the land and leave us alone. That's money too. Teaching us how to farm, how to develop ourselves, how to feed ourselves. That is money. So, because really and truly, if you look at what we're needing with reparations, it's actually, if you look at all of the stuff that people are asking for, and we really need, we need protection. We need a protection, special treatment. We need money. We need our land back that they stole. We need equal treatment under the laws. And these people don't have it in their heart to really give it to us in a sustainable way.
In regards to all this, I strongly believe that California was never a slave state. The issues that you are addressing should be put upon the federal government. This is an issue that the federal government should be handling. The state of California should not be responsible for these issues. Plenty of other states have done this to the people. I strongly believe this. I don't believe this is an issue that should be addressed by the state and have the burden of the state pay for this. I am not denying in any way in regards to the racist issues that have happened in this state and the problems that this state does have. But as far as the restitution goes, I strongly believe that it is a federal issue and should be addressed by that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Happened in 2021, they were waiting for the debt relief. They planned their operations around, okay, well, yeah, the government just came out and said that they're gonna issue $4 billion in debt relief. Since that time, the Ukraine has gotten triple that for tanks that they're not going to see for another few years. While these black farmers who the government admitted were discriminated against, this is a very small percentage, still didn't get that piece. So what I'm saying to the melanated family, are we working on baskets? Just in case this other conversation of reparations continues to get kicked down the road, only to turn into, and I hope you should pull this slide up, only to turn into the government saying, I don't owe you nothing. I didn't make no contract with you. And I think whenever you get to that slide, in the actual bill, the word socially disadvantaged was used like 49 times. The word black farmer was only 10. So I'm using the struggle of one group to justify getting the bag for every other group.
And just to put this into context very quickly, 75% of people live on 3% of the land. If you want to know how big of an acre is 43,560 square feet. 200 square feet per individual annually produce consumption. 800 square feet is needed per average family. There's 1.9 billion acres, lower 48 in the continental United States. 3 million acres are made for vegetable production. 788 million acres are for livestock production.
So you're going to have an organization, which people say they want a freedmen's branch, a freedmen's bureau, staffed by the black people who are freedmen and who won't sell out. So if you want all that, really and truly, you kind of want another government, because the Freedmen's Bank and the Freedmen's Bureau was like actual government. It was another government for black people. That's what it was for. And so that's kind of getting us back into being our own nation, because they haven't really properly integrated us into mainstream American society. Even after all this time, black people, you are not integrated properly into mainstream the American founding father society. You do not direct the direction of the nation like that. You know, you're only allowed into certain areas for certain purposes, and they can get rid of you, destroy you at any moment in time. You know, so, and you know, you're not going to be integrated economically in a fair manner. So, you know, really and truly, you got to have your own enclave that's protected. And so that's kind of basically asking for your own nation. So that's pretty much it, guys. Let's think about that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what do you think about what's going on with all this economic woes and all these issues that's happening in America. You know, they arrested Donald Trump, who, you know, to me, I don't care. But at the same time, it's a development. It's a bunch of white people who love Donald Trump, and they're radical. So they're going to, you know, that's an issue, you know. And they arrested him for stuff that's far less than what other presidents have done. Bill Clinton was killed, you know, done worse. Bill Clinton and Bush and all of them, they're criminals too. So, you know, that's all I got. Peace. Press the thumbs up. Share the message. Out.